Welcome aboard Rocketship, the platform with the most relevant content for competitive examinations. This is our lecture on General Studies Mains Answer Writing series. Without further ado, let us read the question first, which is discuss the potential of hydroelectric power in India, and the second part, that is what concerns have to be suitably answered regarding hydroelectric power. So this question has two parts. In the first part, we have to briefly touch on the potential of hydroelectric power in India, and in the second part, which will form major part of our answers body, is what are the concerns due to which we haven't been able to harvest the potential of hydroelectric power in India. So how to introduce this answer? How would you begin? You can say that due to India's topographical variation, you can start with that India is a topographically diverse country. What it means that India has a number of highlands or mountains and valleys also, due to which India has a substantial potential of hydroelectric power. However, we can also write that, we can also start with this way, that due to the specter of climate change on us, there is a greater need for exploiting greener energy sources like hydroelectric power. To sound more prepared, you can say that India's INDC, that is independently nationally determined contributions, say that by the year 2030, 50% of India's energy requirements, 50% of India's energy requirements has to be met from non-fossil fuels, of which hydroelectric power can be a potential candidate. Reduction of carbon intensity is also there. We have to reduce the carbon intensity of our economy by 45% from the 2005 level. These goals have to be met by 2030. For these two goals, that is achieving 50% of energy requirements from non-fossil fuels, also reduction of carbon intensity of the economy by 45% from the 2005 level, hydroelectric power is a potential candidate. Again, India's hydropower potential is estimated at 1,45,000 megawatt or 145 gigawatt. India's total hydroelectric power potential is 145 gigawatt, of which the installed capacity is something like 45 to 47 gigawatt or 45,000 megawatt. Naturally, what are the advantages of hydropower? We have started with saying that it is a greener option. Again, it's certainly a greener option. We will not define it what greener means. Rather, we'll move to the second part, like main part. That is, hydropower has the advantage of no intermittency. What it means that unlike solar power and wind power, which are not available round the clock, especially wind power, which depends rather on wind speed and may sit idle when you need it most, hydroelectric power is available round the clock. Also, we can say that hydroelectric power can be ramped up as per demand. For an example, suppose in the evening hours, in the night time actually, when the domestic power demand actually rises, we can ramp up hydroelectric power potential, hydroelectric power generation actually. Next, hydroelectric power has longer life also. It might appear that initially the investment costs are higher, but due to its long life, in the long term, the average cost comes down in the case of hydroelectric power. So when hydroelectric power enjoys so many advantages, why have not been we able to harvest its potential? So we can say that there are still some major concerns that need to be assuaged about hydroelectric power. The first concern is obviously displacement. We can give the example of Tehri hydroelectric power project in Uttarakhand. It was a major hydroelectric power project, but it led to displacement of many people, including of a city itself. So there was a great deal of disturbance, also a great deal of hue and cry. So this is one of the concerns that is part and parcel of hydroelectric power generation. Also, some environmentalists have raised the specter of environmental degradation due to hydroelectric power generation. We certainly know that large dams lead to inundation or flooding of forests. Also, large dams also change the river ecology. For an example, the movement of aquatic species upstream and downstream, as we know probably in the case of the Hilsa fish in Bengal, whose movement was affected due to the building of the Farakka barrage. Anyway, moving forward, we also know that large dams are hazard prone, especially if they are in geologically unstable areas like the Himalayas. We can give the example of Tapovan Vishnugarh hydroelectric power project. Tapovan Vishnugarh hydroelectric power project, which was destroyed in a landslide leading to death of many people. Also, in India's case particularly, we also have to balance water demand for irrigation and hydroelectric power generation. So these are some of the important concerns that need to be assuaged if we have to exploit our entire hydroelectric power potential. So how we have to conclude? We must say that due to our need for greener energy, hydroelectric power will always be a part of India's energy matrix. So what can we rather do? We can experiment with newer technology like run-of-the-river plants. What are run-of-the-river plants? If time and space permits, you can write that run-of-the-river plants are hydroelectric power plants which do not store water. They do not store much water, but rather divert it and take use of the gradient. Suppose hydroelectric run of the river plant, it does not store water, it rather diverts this water to generate hydroelectric power. So this is one of the options available to us to use our hydroelectric power potential. So this was all for today. We meet again for the next lecture in a few days. Meanwhile, you go through your notes and try to take a few mock tests. We always wish you all the best. Thank you.